So do you like to walk?
It depends. Walk where?
Do you like rivers? Do you like to walk along a river?
I do like to walk along a river.
Well, has San Antonio got the Riverwalk for you, Thomas? Well, has San Antonio got the Riverwalk for you, Thomas?
They do.
They do. It is amazing. So it's lined with restaurants and shops and hotels. It really is like a modern day Venice. That's what it reminded me of.
Oh, interesting. Yes, it does remind me of that.
Yeah, so it has like different bridges of different architecture all throughout it. They do boat tours up and down, and we'll put some links below for you guys to follow if you want to try to get on a boat ride. The Riverwalk itself is free and open 24 hours a day, although some of the shops and restaurants obviously close at night. So you may want to check your schedule for that. But it actually was a planned development starting in the early 1900s. And the original purpose of this Riverwalk was to redirect the river, for one, irrigation for the city, but two, to actually control the flooding, because they were having some devastating flooding. Lots of people died during these floods, and lots of businesses lost. So they decided if they can control the water, then it would actually be constructive. But it wasn't until about the 1960s that you started to see the economic development that we see today. So it's really evolved over the last, 40 to 80 years tremendously. Right. So we went to see the Dias de los Muertos. And
to what?
No, I apologize to all of you that speak Spanish well. That's the Day of the Dead.
Day of the Dead.
So we went to the Day of the Dead parade in downtown San Antonio. That's something that they do on an annual basis. It's not the only festival. Floats galore, very creative. You'll see these skulls, which a lot of people are turned off by. They just associate it with Halloween theory. But the painted skulls are supposed to be representative of loved ones that have been lost. And you'll see folks paint their faces and dress with skeletons. It's actually to invite their loved ones and communicate with them. It's actually kind of a lovely process. I think it's just very bright and vibrant. It comes from Mexican tradition. So it was very fun thing for us to experience. Very different. So we did purchase seats. We purchased seats for the parade because we weren't sure what to expect. So that guarantees you a seat to sit down in along the Riverwalk path. And it also benefits the Riverwalk Foundation. So that money goes towards a good cause. If you just can't afford it or you miss out and they've sold out, there are areas that you can stand on a bridge and see some of it. Which we didn't know until we were already there. So that's kind of like a little insider tip of a way to do it a little more cost effectively. Another thing is, how would you get there? How did we get there?
I don't remember.
Bus. Because the Mission City RV Park had a bus right out front.
That's right.
And that way we didn't have to worry about parking our car in a city we weren't familiar with and figuring out how to pay for parking and, dealing with downtown traffic. So take the bus, walk a couple blocks, and you won't miss it and you won't be disappointed. So, again, Riverwalk, some must-see. The Alamo's right there at it.
You can see the Alamo at night.
Right. And there's also a couple of museums that I went to along the Riverwalk as well. So I think there's a bike path that goes to the museums as well, which we didn't do because we just didn't have enough time to do it all. So I'm sure we'll be back. But definitely check out the Riverwalk. And if you're there at late October, I would say Day of the Dead Parade for sure.
For sure.
So you remember I said I like gardens?
You do like gardens.
Yeah. So we went to the San Antonio Botanical Gardens to see the Frida Kahlo installation. And pretty amazing. So she's kind of known for her paintings
Prickly
that
pear
came from a lot of pain that she was in, actually. And they're kind of folk art slash fantasy, so very different. And unfortunately, during her lifetime, she really wasn't that famous. Later in life, she became famous, of course, or later after her passing. She was kind of rediscovered, but incredible artist. She lived in this bright, vibrant house, and they actually did like a reconstruction, like a miniature version of that.
A model of it, yeah.
Yeah. Which we had fun walking through that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of local artists there actually made statues and different things that were like an homage to her and how they had inspired her. And then there were some kids' gardens, right, that we walked around.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that, and the little scarecrows?
Yeah.
Okay. So it looked like, and there wasn't anything posted, but it looked as if they were doing like classrooms for small children, and they gave them a garden plot, and they all planted the same things like corn, squash, and maybe some greens. And I don't know if it was a competition for grades or if it was just something that they were learning, but what a great thing, because I really don't think that we teach our children enough these days of hands-on skills. But anyway, the gardens themselves are beautiful, so even if they don't have an art installation, go anyway. Prices are $13 to $16 depending on the day of the week and what age you are, or you can do a membership for $65, which I would recommend doing. We actually did that there because it has a reciprocal benefit to over 345 gardens across the nation, and we'll put links down below for you guys to follow that if you want to try to see if maybe your local garden is part of it, and then you could get in for free actually. You can also bus there.
Bussing everywhere.
Big fans of buses. Yes, sir. The other thing is they offer a lot of classes, and we couldn't fit this into the schedule either, but when I go back, they actually have a culinary garden as part of the overall garden. And they do culinary classes there. They have a full like commercial kitchen. They also do yoga classes and some art classes and just some different revolving things. So the Botanical Gardens are a must-see, I would say. And again, you know, affordable, not free, but affordable. And if you already have a garden membership, then you might get in for free. Who knows? Give them a call.
Okay, so we went to see a Spurs game. It just so happened it was I-35 rivalry night with the Dallas Mavericks.
Oh my goodness.
I can stand up.
It was a good game, but there's actually more to it than just the game, because we're not really basketball fans necessarily,
or sports followers.
Yeah, we
at all.
Yeah.
But
we did get there early. We walked around the stadium. We got nosebleed tickets for $20.
Yeah, with a free T-shirt because we got there early.
Yeah, so that worked out great. Food and drinks, though, pretty pricey.
Scary.
Yeah.
Pricey.
Yeah.
Like, we're talking like $20 for a drink.
Right.
Yeah.
So just be aware of that. What else? We saw the bathrooms with the Spurs on.
They literally have boots with the Spurs. So we'll flash up a little photo to let you know what we're talking about. But gotta love Texas. Yeah. Their humor is kind of intertwined in everything.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
So, also on the bus route, we took the bus there.
Ubered back. Yeah. Because the buses stopped running like at
9 or
pretty
something.
Early, right?
Yeah.
So we had to Uber back, but that was okay. That was no problem.
It was Spanish Heritage Night.
It was.
Boy, I wish I could dance like those ladies. So much fun to watch. Yeah, it's like 2 shows in one, wouldn't you say?
It was.
Yeah.
Lots of entertainment. It was a fun time for sure.
Right. So definitely check out the Spurs if you're there during their season, or even if you're not. That Coliseum, I think, has a lot of festivities and different activities going on all year. So just, take advantage of what's around you, because, like I said, we're not real basketball fans, but we thoroughly enjoyed the night.
Yeah, it was a good night.
It was. Boots with the Spurs.
So overall, we had a blast in San Antonio, wouldn't you say?
I would.
Yeah. So we'd go back?
In a heartbeat.
And that works great because the championship is every year.
And I still have my RV, so I'm completely okay with that.
So definitely would go back. A lot of culture there.
Oh my gosh, it's so diverse. Yeah. One thing that I didn't realize until we got there is there's a huge German influence around the town of San Antonio and in it, along with, of course, Hispanics, Mexican, Native American. I mean, it's and everybody just kind of works together, and the cultures kind of mix.
Yeah.
And I would say it's probably the friendliest, most helpful group of people I've ever encountered anywhere in my life.
It really was. Everywhere you go, the people were super nice.
Right. I mean, if someone saw you at a grocery store and you couldn't pick up the case of water, there was somebody just swooping in to pick it up for you. I mean, it was unlike anything I'd ever seen. Even in traffic, like Texas, like we didn't believe it when we first pulled into Texas, but some of the road sign says, drive friendly, it's the Texas way. Well, they mean it.
They mean it.
If you need to get over, you're getting over. That Texan's going to let you over. Yeah. He doesn't mind if he's got to wait a few seconds. So that was very, very nice.
Yeah.
Great way to introduce ourselves to Texas. So yeah, I would definitely go back next year and the year after, honestly. So.
Good to hear.
Oh, and one insider point. Don't be afraid to get off the interstate, because a lot of people want to drive on the interstates because it's faster and you feel like you're a little safer. Their interstates are maddening it's just a lot of people moving at one time. If you get off the interstate, even driving through town, and we're driving a full-size F350 truck everywhere, including in the downtown areas. Right. And it was no problem, no traffic anywhere. You can zoom around town even quicker. Because everybody tends to stay on the interstate and they know where they're going. We didn't, so the smaller roads worked better for us. Just a little tip: don't be afraid to get off the interstate.
Yeah,